Game week 24 is around the corner and 373,000 managers have already played their assistant manager chip. There is a lot to discuss this week, like the chip strategy, how I am planning to navigate blank game week 29, what my future transfers till game week 29 looks like, and how my team is shaping up for the double game week 24. If you are new here, please hit the like button. 50 likes is the aim of this video. Otherwise, let's start with how I did in game week 23. It was a fairly decent week with 61 points, but it was not enough to give me a green arrow. My safety score was 63. Now, looking at this team, I do not know what I should have done differently. Maybe playing Ahmad over Rogers was the way because I was confused between the two and I ended up playing Rogers. It would have been a decent green arrow this week, which was only hampered because of the 90th minute Greaves goal, which wiped my double Liverpool clean sheet. Elsewhere, Raya coming up with a clean sheet and 9 points was a big welcome, as I have been putting up with double Arsenal defense for a long time now, and I had Timber, who had given me 2 clean sheets in the previous 7 game weeks, while cheap defenders like Hall, Kirkes, Hoyson, and Robinson were destroying my ranks each week, and every one of them outscored Timber since I bought Timber in. I could have gone for any of these defenders in game week 16 when I bought Timber in, and I would have been better off. Elsewhere in the team, Salah got just a single goal for his 8 pointer, doubled to 16. Isak doing Isak things, getting a 13 pointer, which I personally think was very lucky, as the penalty that was awarded to Newcastle, it should never have stood. It was terrible refereeing. Gordon chipped in with 5 points, whereas Palmer, Wood, and Wissa blanked. Many people have actually sold Palmer, and many are actually selling him. Personally, I think the boat to sell Palmer has sailed. If you wanted to sell Palmer, you should have done that before the Man City game. His form has certainly dropped a bit as he has only 3 returns in the previous 7 game weeks, but the next 5 fixtures for Palmer are West Ham, Brighton, Villa, Southampton, and Leicester. It does not make any sense to sell him now. If you have not sold Palmer, he should be an easy hold for the next 5 game weeks. If he does something against West Ham, which he surely can, all those people who have sold Palmer would be looking to get him back into the team. That being said, let's see what my team is looking like for Game Week 24 and what my chip strategy is. Before I start with my team, I've already made a transfer, which is Fabianski out for Pickford. Fabianski was dropped from the starting 11 in his last match, which might have meant that he's no longer the first choice keeper at West Ham. I also had a lot of funds lying in my bank which was not being utilized, or the funds which I might not necessarily need till game week 30 when I anyways plan to wildcard. Raya and Pickford rotate really well. I'm planning to play Pickford in the double game week 24 and then play him directly in game week 28 and 29 when he plays Wolves and West Ham. Raya would have Man United and Chelsea in those game weeks. Till then, I'll play Raya in the remaining 3 where he faces Leicester, West Ham and Forest. I'm chasing all the points that I can at this stage to cover the 97 point gap that I have between my current rank and the top 10k. This is the sole reason why I do not mind spending 10.5 million on goalkeepers, which I might have found crazy thing to do in the previous seasons. This is how my team is looking like for Game Week 24. Pickford is the starting goalkeeper and I do not expect a lot of points from him. My realistic expectations are 2 plus 2, 4 points for appearance and then 2 save points. If he can get a clean sheet against Leicester, I would be thrilled, but I'm under no delusion and have no unrealistic expectations from him. If anyone is planning to get a defender from Everton, it should be Pickford, as he gets those save points as well. Everton may or may not keep a clean sheet in either of those fixtures, and getting an Everton defender might not be the best use of the transfer unless you are getting them as your fifth defender, because you would not want to play your Everton defenders in the next 3 post a double. With keepers, you can always play them and hope for some save points, which Pickford generally does. In defense, I have double Liverpool defenders because going for Gakpo was not setting well with my team. I had to play Timber or Munoz this week, and moving forward, I would have had double Arsenal defense, which isn't bad, but they are not necessarily in the best of form, and they play Chelsea in the blank game week 29. It also meant that I would have gotten rid of Wood, who plays in the blank game week 29, and most importantly, I would not have had Trent. I thought a lot and I looked at this decision over and over, and then I thought that I should not look at this decision over just the next 2 game weeks, rather over the next 7 game weeks. It all depends on how your team is shaping up and what players you need to make all the positions better. Another issue with Gakpo is that he is not an explosive player who might give you double digit returns, and he is always a minutes risk. If you're going for Gakpo, make sure that he isn't hampering your future moves and you have Trent already in your team. If you're looking at Liverpool players for the double, Salah, Trent, Gakpo, Van Dijk, Alisson, and Konate should be the order. I have not mentioned Diaz because of his uncertainty that he can get benched, plus he takes up a midfield spot. Right now, we have a lot of midfielders we want in our team and not enough spots in our team. So, do I think that Diaz would be a good decision? Not really. The third defender is Milenkovic. Although Forest have just conceded 5 against Bournemouth, they have been a pretty good defense throughout the season. And considering how Brighton are playing, Forest can come out of this fixture with a clean sheet. I would have loved to play Munoz because of his attacking potential, but I do not think that Palace will keep a clean sheet against Man United. For me, a defender is there in my team to give me those clean sheet points, and if he gets an attacking return, that is a bonus. Due to that reason, Milenkovic plays. Coming to my midfield, I currently have my triple captain active on Mohamed Salah. Up until game week 23, I was confused between assistant manager and triple captain. I was pretty happy to play my assistant manager chip on slot in game week 24 and 25 and then put it on the Wolves manager in game week 26 for getting a table bonus. But seeing how Wolves have been playing in the last few weeks, I kind of decided against it. Another reason was that I would not have had Trent in this double game week when one third of the managers would have him. I can still play assistant manager on slot in game week 31 and have Trent in my team because I am planning a game week 30 wildcard. Also, I would still be struck with double Arsenal defense against Man City this week, which I certainly did not wanted to. There was no other defender which I wanted till game week 28 apart from Liverpool. Many of you would say that I could have played on slot in game week 24 and 25 and then change it to Arteta in game week 26, but that involves a transfer and my team currently has no extra transfers to burn. I would show you my future plans moving forward in this video and you would know why. I am also a firm believer of playing your triple captainship on the player in form, and who better than Mohamed Salah this week? Who knows what Salah form would be come game week 33 when Liverpool double, and maybe he might get a rest at that time because of all the other competitions. This is a risk-free week to triple captain him. Salah will have an effective ownership of more than 200%, so anyone who is not triple captaining him will see a drop in their rank, but there aren't any other player who you would want to captain apart from Mohamed Salah. You can take a risk and captain Gakpo, but if it backfires, I do not need to say what will happen to your rank. Trent can be a good captaincy alternative, but seeing how Bournemouth are playing, I do not expect a clean sheet in that fixture, and if he does not keep 2 clean sheets, even with the attacking returns, I do not see him as a good captain choice. The other three midfielders are Palmer against West Ham, Ahmad versus Palace, and Gordon against Fulham. And this is where another dilemma comes in. I really want Boomo this week against Spurs. Brentford are a super attacking team, and Spurs are all over the place right now. I would not be surprised if they concede 2 or 3 goals against Brentford. And who would be involved in those goals? Mbumo. Fulham is a decent fixture and do not mind playing Gordon, but he is not an explosive player. Bumo can easily cover the 4-point hit this week. I am torn between this decision. Maybe you can let me know in the comment section whether I should get Mbumo for a hit or play Gordon instead and bring in Mbumo next week. Now Rogers versus Ahmad is a debate again this week. If I look at the fixture, I really want to play Rogers, but his numbers are really down in the last 3, with 0.13 expected goal involvement being his highest. And when I watched the highlights of the Villa vs West Ham game, I did not see Rogers doing anything. Rogers might come up with an occasional 12-pointer and then disappear for a long time, but it is very difficult to nail down the week where he will give you those points. If I look at the consistency, Ahmad makes a lot of sense as I am even benching Munoz this week. The three strikers are Wissa, Wood and Isak. Isak I don't think I need to talk a lot about. The only thing I would say is that if for some reason you do not still own Isak, there can be a case to go for a Gakpo or Visa instead, as the next three after his Fulham game is Man City, Forest, and Liverpool, and then he will mostly blank in Game Week 29 as well. Visa has an amazing run of fixtures coming up with Spurs, West Ham, Leicester, Everton, Villa, and Bournemouth in the next six, and he plays in the blank Game Week 29. This amazing run of fixture is the reason why I am so keen about doubling up on this Brentford attack. Chris Wood, to be honest, I don't know what I want to do with him. I did not do Wood to Gakpo because my defense was weak and I did not own Trent, but I'm not sure where he stands in my team. I'll possibly keep him till game week 29, and if I do, he might not leave my team till the end of the season, as Forest will play 7 teams who are in the bottom half of the table out of the 8 fixtures from game week 30 to game week 37, and the one team that is in the top half is Aston Villa. As I said, I do not know where I am with Wood. I look at him on a game week to game week basis. Let us now see what my future plans are and how my team would shape up moving forward till game week 29. We have already seen how my team is looking for game week 24, and this team has a 100% team rating. I hope now I can move ahead from the red arrows, which I have seen in 8 of the previous 10 game weeks, to green arrows and possibly towards a strong finish. Now moving to game week 25, I have made 2 transfers, Gordon and Rogers out for Bumo and Semenyo. Rogers has Ipswich in game week 25, but with the form that Bournemouth are showing, I do not want to miss this Southampton fixture for my Bournemouth attackers. This would mean I either take a -4 hit this week or in game week 25. I am tempted to do a -4 this week as I am playing my triple captainship, and I might end up on a green arrow nonetheless, even if I take a hit or not. Another consideration is that there is a 2 week gap between game week 24 and game week 25, and in between that Mbemo will rise in price and Gordon will drop, and I want to catch the price rises. These transfers in game week 25 would mean that I play a 3-5-2 and bench Chris Wood, which I do not mind doing at all. The team looks so good. While I am talking about Bournemouth midfielders, it is not necessary that I go with Semenyo. It could easily be Kluivert or Ottawa. Kluivert has penalties and he's showing good form too. It is a wait and watch for me to see if Bournemouth sign a striker in this transfer window. If they do, will he take up minutes from Kluivert or Semenyo, and would Kluivert be still on penalties? There's a lot of things to wait and watch in Bournemouth, and that is why I have put Semenyo in the team right now. After considering all these things, I'll make my decision on which Bournemouth midfielder I would want to go for. Right now, it is 40-40 between Semenyo and Kluivert, and then 20% Ottawa. Moving to game week 26, except for the double Liverpool defense, I do not see any issues in this team, and this is where I can make a defender transfer or simply play both my Liverpool defenders and roll. I do not mind playing my defenders against City, and all my 7 attackers have good fixtures from an attacking point of view. I might not want to captain Salah this week, and maybe it could be a week where I go super differential and captain Bumo when he plays Leicester. Now in game week 27, I would have 2 transfers, and again, if you leave the defense, the team looks good. If I come out of game week 26 with double Liverpool defenders and no transfer, I would not want to burn one transfers getting Van Dijk out of my team when Liverpool will play Southampton in game week 28. AI wants me to play Wood over Semenyo, but I might not do that and play Semenyo as Wood is facing Arsenal this week. In game week 28 again, I have a good team and I might not want to make a transfer. The only issue would be that Wood will be playing Man City, but Man City do give away chances, and if one comes to Wood, we all know how clinical he is. So in game week 29, I'll have 4 free transfers and just 3 players to deal with if Liverpool and Newcastle were to qualify for the Carabao Cup final. This is a week where I might have to play a 4-4-2 because I would not want to get rid of either Salah or Isak because of the value attached in those players. I can get rid of all my 3 non-playing defenders this week and remove Palmer for maybe a Foden or Bruno Fernandes. This is what I've come up for now, but this would certainly change come game week 29. All I want to say is that I can do a lot with these 4 free transfers. And to have those 4 free transfers, I might need to take a -4 hit this week or next. If I do not take any hit, it would mean that I'll have 3 free transfers in Game Week 29, but I'll also miss Mbemo vs Spurs fixture and Semenyo vs Southampton fixture in the process, neither of which I really want to miss. The more I'm talking about the hit, the more tempting it is becoming to take a hit this week. I have been rambling for 15 minutes now, and I'll stop here. Do let me know what your plans are for Game Week 24 in the comments, and I wish everyone to have a great Game Week 24. If you found the video useful and valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe as it helps me reach to a wider audience.